More than 5 years ago, we moved this old race boat into our yard, and after years of modifications, we are finally ready to completely transform this boat by giving it a brand new paint job. My name is Matt. Follow along as I turn Duracell, the legendary ocean racing sailboat, into a comfortable cruising home.
A few days before the scheduled paint job, Dave came by to drop off the paint.
Sweet.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the, this is the cream.
That's the cream.
Okay, that's the
Base
green.
coat. That's going to be like your seafoam green.
Cool.
And then we've got a couple of quarts of here, and that's for your boot stripe.
Hi, I'm Dana LeBeau, owner of All Points Marine, and I'm down here with Matt to paint the Duracell.
Jameson, I'm here to paint Duracell. I'm going to help Dana with the project, and me and him have been working together for about 7 years now, painting boats. Looking forward to getting it done.
The deck will be painted with All Grips Allcraft 3000. This is a 2-part paint that is catalyzed as well as reduced for spraying. Dana is using All Grips T0003 for the spraying reducer.
Spraying the scaffolding with water just to keep the dust down on the scaffolding. And then we're gonna fog the whole building.
Before the painting began, Dana went through the tent and fogged the area with Allcraft 3000 paint. Allcraft 3000 is very sticky, so the fogging puts a fine layer of paint over all the dust that could potentially get into the air and eventually into the paint, and it sticks the dust in place. Once the fogging was done, we unrolled the plastic over the boat to expose the deck. The deck had already been thoroughly wiped with All Grips T0170, which is the solvent that is wiped on, then off. The final wipe down is done with a tack cloth, which picks up any lingering dust and other detritus.
Is that music you guys play on your videos, is that just all AI generated?
No, nothing's AI generated on our channel.
Oh, well, I just know that's kind of a popular thing for music now. And you got the booty stamping?
So I know a lot of people are gonna wonder, like, what tool are you using to do this job specifically?
I'm using a DeVilbiss JGA 510 with a Binks 2.8 pressure pot.
And so that's your gun?
Yeah. The gun is the DeVilbiss JGA, and the Binks is the pressure pot connected to the gun.
So it's like a HVLP or a...
No, the DeVilbiss JGA is actually a conventional gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what kind of pressures and stuff do you use this at?
I use about 60 pounds at the gun and 12 pounds at the pot.
Right on.
Yep.
And this is the gun you're using like day to day?
I also use a SATA. I just kind of switch back to the DeVilbiss because I like the way it sprays also. I try to keep myself familiar with both the SATA guns, the RP1000 and the DeVilbiss JGA 510.
And so why did you pick this one to do this job?
Just because I haven't used it for quite a while, and I like to use it with All Grip. And,
Gotcha.
Just kind of playing around, switch guns sometimes, just keep the job fun.
We're going to take a quick break from boat work to talk about a problem that affects all of us and an easy solution, thanks to Incogni for sponsoring this episode. Our personal data is exposed everywhere online. That personal data, like address number, email, social security numbers, are being leaked in data breaches. In addition to being leaked, our data is actively bought and sold, sometimes by bad actors. Incogni works. They're the first and only personal data removal service to be verified by a third party. Deloitte, which is a third-party verification, confirms that Incogni actually removes personal data from hundreds of data broker sites and private databases, sends regular follow-ups, and tracks real confirmation responses. There's also a custom removal feature. If you don't want anything about you online, this feature is for you. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and this summer, Incogni is offering a special deal to Duracell viewers. Take back your personal data with Incogni. Use code Duracell at the link below, incogni.com/Duracell, for 60% off an annual plan.
All three of us, Dana, Jameson, and I, were present for pretty much all of the painting. I was there to tend the hose and run outside to collect any tools we needed or to mix more paint, while Dana did most of the spraying and Jameson was there to get the harder to reach areas like the top of the doghouse and let us know if we've missed a spot.
Bright and early on day 2, and we're going to be putting a second coat on the deck today of 2 coats. We're getting it done nice and early today so it doesn't get too hot in the tent again, but really looking forward to seeing it done. Apart from the prep, which I know is 90% or 95% of the paint job, what are the keys to a successful paint job?
Mostly just cleanliness and the prep, and proper air, and everything we do kind of is important to the job. There isn't one thing that you can leave out really. You got to have everything good to go.
Yeah. The masking, the
Yeah.
airflow.
Yep.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, heat exhaustion is a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
The previous day we got started painting a little later than we hoped, and the tent got very hot as we were painting, which gave us all a bit of heat exhaustion. So today we're starting nice and early. You'll notice that Dana is constantly moving around a battery-powered LED light. This is so he can find any dry spots, or what he calls the wet edge, which is the limit of where he's painted. It helps to make sure he doesn't miss a spot when it's hard to see the white paint that's applied to a white surface. Overspray is what creates the fog in the tent. We obviously wear masks fitted with activated charcoal cartridges and pre-filters that clean the air for breathing, and we have to change these cartridges after every coat. The tent also has filters. There are intake filters to keep the incoming air clean, but more importantly, there are exhaust filters that clean the outgoing air from the overspray so no paint gets outside the tent, while keeping the air moving inside the tent. These were also changed after every coat.
So we've been very curious, what can go wrong? Like when a job goes sideways, what's the culprits usually?
Usually surface contamination when you start seeing fish eyes right away, and other culprits could be water or oil in your air system.
Oh yeah.
And also the spray booth actually getting holes in it or something, and drawing in dirt, getting everything dirty. So there's a lot of different things that can cause big problems in spray shoots. You just always got to make sure you're prepared.
Right on. And so it's usually like stuff getting into the paint that messes.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's stuff on the surface that you didn't know about, and you'll only see when you start top coating.
Right. Looks like it's stuck. At least up here. Which is good.
On Wednesday, day 3, we had to give the deck paint at least 24 hours to cure before we put masking on it, per the technical data sheet, and more time if possible. All masking between the hull and deck had to be reversed to paint the hull. So I peeled off the hull masking and then late in the day masked over the new paint to expose the hull and protect the deck. On day 4, we got really lucky with the weather, which was cool and rainy outside, perfect for staying cool and dry inside the tent.
Got to seal this up good this time though, because we're shooting black first. That gets everywhere.
The first step is to paint the boot stripe, so everything else has to be masked off. After the boot stripe is painted, we'll mask over that and paint the rest of the hull.
I'm complaining about how much tape I'm going through.
It's insane.
And before painting, of course, another quick wipe with the tack cloth. We don't want any dust getting into the paint.
Oh, dark green. I like that.
Just bring this up to 24. Get about 2.5 ounces of the hog cap. Good. We are good to go. Get right on in there.
Let's paint the boot stripe.
For the hull and boot stripe, we are applying a base coat of color, which is Allcraft SE. And then on top of that, we'll apply a clear coat of Allcraft 3000. That same day, after the boot stripe was painted, we peeled off the masking from the hull, while leaving the deck covered. The base coat we're using, Allcraft SE, per the data sheet, can take masking tape after only an hour, which really expedites the painting process. We waited about 2 hours to be safe and then masked over the boot stripe to protect it from the seafoam green hull paint. On one side of the boat, we used green 3M masking tape, and on the other side, we used blue 3M masking tape. After it was all peeled, we found that the surface of the boot stripe was much better under the green tape. Lesson learned. We had to be super precise with this masking to make sure the boot stripes stayed straight and flat and no primer remained exposed. Then we tacked off the boat again.
Showing this boat a lot of love.
This will be the last time that we see the boat white. It's a new beginning for Duracell.
This is a big moment in the Duracell project.
It is. We've been looking at a white boat for 5 years now.
So Dana, do you get nervous before you put on a top coat?
I used to when I did this a long time ago, but nowadays I don't get nervous. I'm pretty confident with myself and painting.
Cool. Love hearing that.
Okay, yeah.
White boat.
So we have Dave here from All Grip. Dave helped us figure out what system of paint we're going to use on the boat. So could you explain why we chose this system?
Absolutely. We went with a base clear system on the hull for a very specific reason. It's a two-stage system. And what we're planning on doing is we lay down the color first, and we're using the All Grip Allcraft SE line. It's a very specific line, and what we're concerned with on your particular color, because it is a pastel, what we run into, and this is a universal paint problem. This is not an All Grip problem or anything else. Any other brand of problem suffers from this, is we run into what we call flood and float. Okay. We're going to use gray as an example. Great example is of a pastel. We use two different components, pigments in that. One is titanium dioxide, and that's the white, and it's very heavy and it sinks. And the other one we use is, of course, is black, which is carbon. It's very light and it floats. And so we could mix that up in a cup and we could set it on the counter, and we could see a line of white and a line of black after a while as those two things separate.
Oh, wow.
So if I take those pigments and I put them into a bunch of resin and a UV package, and I mix all that stuff up and I apply it in one fell swoop, it has a tendency to what we call flood and float, where the white might flood out and that black might float to the top.
Oh.
So if I go and I try and repair that, I take the chance if that black is floated to the top and I start sanding on it, I could actually sand all of the black pigment out of that paint layer. And I'm left with a very light looking white, because that's all that's left is the titanium dioxide pigment at this point.
Crazy.
Okay, so tough to repair,
Yeah.
really, really hard to repair. So how we fix that is we go and we take all the resin out, we take the UV package out, and all we do is spray color. So in the case of your green that we're going to apply, we're going to lay that down. There's no resin, anything. It actually air dries very, very quickly. In like 30 minutes, you'll be able to go over the top of it with clear. Now, when you apply it, it's going to look very matte. It's not going to be very attractive. I don't want you to be scared, okay, that we made a mistake, because we're going to come up immediately and we're going to apply a clear coat on the top of it. Now, that clear coat is going to have all the resin, all the UV package. That's what's going to give us the great gloss, the shininess, the great distinction of image that we're looking for in a paint job, all of those things. Now, how does this benefit you? Well, hopefully if you get a boo-boo, you come up to the dock and you get a little scrape, you were only into the clear coat.
Yeah.
We haven't hit the paint or the color at all, right? So we can just go quick sand of the clear coat, give it a quick buff, and maybe that fixes the problem. Or in the case if we have to do more repair, then we'll use a blending solution and actually do a blend on the clear. You've got a fighting chance to match the shade of that pastel color that we've chosen here.
Okay.
We've also chosen Allcraft 3000 for your particular boat. It's an acrylic. You can cut it and buff it, no harm, no foul. It's repairable all day long.
Cool.
Our traditional G line is also repairable, but it's a more involved process.
Gotcha.
A little tougher to do.
Okay.
For you guys out in the wild, hopefully when I see you in Tahiti someday, if you need to do a repair, hopefully it'll be really easy to do in the field for you.
To do it in 2 stages, to see the color go on and then to make it glossy will be very cool to see it happen.
Yes, yep. For your particular color, this is absolutely the right decision.
Right on.
So Dana, I have a question for you. When we started thinking about painting Duracell, I was like, that sounds expensive hiring someone. Matt, can't you just do it? Like, just watch a YouTube video and just spray the boat yourself.
Sure, I could just spray a boat.
And Matt basically laughed at me and he said, no, this is a really, this is a job that requires training, and not only training, but just a lot of practice. How many years have you been doing this? How many boats have you painted?
I've been doing it for about 35 years. It's hard to say how many boats I painted. It's been quite a few, and some of them have taken quite a few years just to finish one. But it's not the type of job you can learn from a book. You got to get out there in the field, and you got to you got to really get a lot of hands-on training with it. After a few years, then you should be able to get out there and actually start spraying a boat.
Again, you'll see Dana and Jameson using the light to find the wet edge and to make sure that there are no dry spots that didn't get enough paint. As the tent gets foggy with overspray, this light becomes a very important tool. Immediately after the first coat was done and the filter was changed, we started on the second layer of base coat. The next morning, I got to peel off all the tape and reveal the painted hull in all its glory. One last time, we tacked off the boat. And lastly, the clear coat was then mixed. The clear coat is also Allcraft 3000, just like the deck, but without color. The base coat of Allcraft SE has a flat finish, so the Allcraft 3000 will protect the color and give the coating a lot of depth.
What were the challenges with getting this done?
I don't think there were any real challenges there. You had it ready pretty good, and you know exactly what you wanted. So we just basically came in here, helped you clean and spray.
My leg truck.
It's done.
It's done.
It's painted, finally.
Alder's not enthused. Alder just woke up from...
He slept through the whole paint job.
He did.
These are the used exhaust filters. We changed the filters after every coat because they were getting so clogged up with overspray, which is one of the crazy things about using air, like a air system to paint the boat with. And they did a really good job filtering out the overspray as we were painting and everything. And so there's a big bank of fans up in the top of the building that sucks air out before the air can go out. These filters were taking all the paint out of it, so they did a really good job. It was a pain in the butt to have to replace them between every coat, but it worked out really, really well for us.